For the first time since the start of President Trump's second term, drivers are paying higher gas prices than they were at the same point last year under former President Biden. And although prices at the pump are still relatively low and far from their historic peak back in 2022, the trend contradicts a key talking point from the Trump administration on the issue of affordability.
Our next guest argues Democrats need to do more than address affordability to turn America blue. And joining us now to talk about all of this is Kentucky's Democratic Governor Andy Beshear. Hi, Governor. So you write this op-ed. This is a new opinion piece about this month's elections. And you say in this op-ed, quote, what we saw in these wins was a direct repudiation of the Trump agenda. But we still have to grapple with the fact that the Democratic Party has lost ground in many parts of the country, especially in rural America. Tackling affordability is not enough. To truly lead again, Democrats must be the party of aspiration. So what exactly do you mean, and how does your party achieve that?
What I mean is, first, we've got to show up everywhere. Every rural community and every urban community. And we have to tell the people of America not just who we're against, but what we're for. Yes, we saw in this last set of elections great candidates like Abigail Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill win by wide margins. They talked about affordability, but I think what they were really talking about was the American dream. I think one of the most concerning threats to this nation is how many people think the American dream is now no longer in reach. That idea that if they work hard and play by the rules, they still won't get ahead. We've got to be the party that rekindles that American dream, that provides more housing, that lowers utility costs, that makes it so you can not only afford your grocery bill at the end of the month, but to take your family on that same vacation that you could go on growing up. You know, that's what the next generation deserves, and that's what we should be delivering.
You mentioned the Democrats who won in Virginia and New Jersey, but what about Zohran Mamdani, the mayor in New York, and his approach he's taking? Because a big reason he won, too, was his pitch on what he could do on affordability.
Yeah, I think what you saw in Mamdani's win is actually somewhat similar to what we saw the year before in Donald Trump's win. It's that people are so concerned about being able to pay for the price of their child's next prescription, that they're willing to vote for somebody that's cruel in Donald Trump, or somebody whose proposals may take a little bit of work, like Zohran Mamdani. What they're looking for are people who are committed to them, that recognize that the system isn't currently working. But again, we've got to be more than just against Donald Trump and his tariff policies that are making life harder. We've got to be more than just against his big, ugly bill, which is going to devastate rural health care and rural economies. We've got to be the party offering the solution. And that solution is making sure that American dream works for every family across our country.
But why should Americans, Governor, have confidence in Democrats to deliver on this key issue of affordability when President Trump was elected on this issue back in 2024 after the Biden-Harris administration clearly failed to deliver?
Well, first, Donald Trump has done anything but make things more affordable. His tariff policy has raised costs on everything from groceries to housing to everything that goes in that house, from hardwood to cabinets to upholstery. You know, every single day his policies make it tougher and tougher to get by. And look at what he pushed congressional Republicans to do and not do. He pushed them to extend a tax cut for the wealthy, but not tax credits for hardworking Americans trying to afford health care. But when you look especially at Democratic governors, you see we do what Republicans can't when we win. We govern well. In Kentucky, we've broken every record for private sector investment and new jobs. Our wages are at a 3-year high when you average them out. People are living better lives, and I've seen in counties that were trending red, when you deliver good new jobs, when you open up a new healthcare clinic, when you build a new road that saves people 20 minutes each way, people will vote different if you are making a real impact on their lives. So all I'm asking is that Democrats, but heck, I welcome Republicans too. Let's focus on people's everyday needs. Let's recognize that for America to continue to be great, that American dream has to be real, and let's make it happen.
Someone might hear what you're saying, read your op-ed and say, this sounds like a pitch for running for president. Your fellow Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom of California acknowledges he'll give serious thought to a potential presidential run after the midterm elections. Are you also waiting for the midterms to consider or announce what's next for your political future?
Well, I spent this last year trying to speak reason into chaos, being a common sense, common ground, get things done type of voice for the Democratic Party, but hopefully for America. This next year, I'll be head of the Democratic Governors Association, and my job is to elect new leaders and keep great leaders all over this country. We are going to change the map, and you're going to see that next year when we win some governor's elections that no one is expecting. After that, I'll sit down with my family and we'll see. What's most important to me is that my kids get the type of country that I grew up in, one that is stable, one that doesn't have a constant us versus them. We need to not only win this next presidential election, but we need to heal this country, make things less partisan, and restore that American dream for each and every family.
We'll be anxious to hear what you eventually decide, Governor. But given everything you've written and just explained to us, are you confident in the current Democratic Party leadership in Congress to lead the party to victory in next year's midterm elections?
Well, you know, when democracy works the way it's supposed to, there's more than one voice, and you will hear dissent within a party. That's what it's supposed to be about. What's important to me is those common sense, common ground, get things done type of voices are heard, that we put results for the American people before anything else, that we recognize that maybe too much regulation in the past has kept us from delivering as quickly as we need to for Americans, and that we put our families first before any ideology, before any fights over leadership. We just look at the American people and say, we're the party that will get things done for you.
All right, Governor Andy Beshear, thank you so much.
Thank you.